Shit, Shobhit, Divakar and Shami. We are here to tell you about the main events that happened in Rome. We are giving you an outline of what happened all throughout the Roman Empire. Given the name as timeline of Rome. I'll ask Naveen to start it.
We are starting with discovery of Rome. It was discovered around 753 BC. The discovery of Rome is just a myth, according to Wikipedia. It was discovered by Romulus and Remus. They were drowned by their own kingdom in the river, and then found by a sheep which raised them. And after they discovered Rome, Romulus killed Remus for a fight over the throne. So that is the myth about the way of the final of 9 BC.
In 509 BC, the Egyptians who conquered Rome or overthrew it. After 100 years, they have ruled Rome, but now Rome has been ruled by Christians. And now Rome has become a complex Republican government. And after this, we will have emirates.
Somewhere around 218 BC, Hannibal attacked Sanctum with his large army. He passed his army through Pyrenees and the mountains in Alps, and this was considered one of the biggest expeditions because it was tough. That part was not yet discovered how to travel along, and he still did it. After a few string of victories, he finally got a stronghold on southern Italy. But despite getting a stronghold there, he did not attack on actual Rome. But Rome decided to rebound and attack North Africa. And in order to defend North Africa, he lost his interest in Italy. And after a year or so, he faced a devastating defeat in there. And a treaty was signed. The war that followed was a treaty war. And to end this war, a treaty was signed, which took away all his powers of an imperial emperor. Though he had no power left, he still pursued his dream of destroying the Rome till his death.
Finally, of 45 BC, Julius Caesar defeats Pompeius as a social war, and he becomes the supreme leader of Rome. And after that, this was the day of Rome and the Republic. This is the time of the end of the Roman Republic. He hires Josephus as a Roman to work out on a new calendar of Rome.
Before this thing, let's later on the idea of what we want to do. They want the Republic to be back, but we will not wait for it.
The last Roman emperor, Romulus was initiated by the Germans who created this emperor attack of the Latin.
After the assassination of Julius Caesar, they expected the civil war, the bloody civil war to end, but that didn't really happen. We had Antony against Octavius. The civil war took on for a few more years, and we had many more devastating effects. After a few years, the civil war finally came to an end, and there was a political equilibrium in Rome. And there are a few stuff like burning of Rome, which nothing will not tell you about.
It happened at July 1864 AD. Fire was set on with merchant place in the city, and the fire just spread to the dry wooden structures in the city. It lasted for around 6 days and 7 nights. It was the most terrorizing fire Rome has ever seen. And the emperor at that time, Emperor Nero, there was rumor spreading around the city that he set the city on fire. But to suppress that rumor, he blamed the Christians and literally fed them to lions to please the public. It was the most terrorizing and destructive fire Rome has ever seen.
In 80 AD, we all know that the great Roman Colosseum was built. It was built in 71. The construction started in 72 AD by the king Vespasianus, and it was finished by the Emperor Titus. It was made of land and one brick, and it could hold up to 50,000 to 80,000 spectators, and an average of 55,000. When it was built, 100 game celebration was done. And moving on to the Hatna. The Okay, and we wall built.
Hadrian Wall was the northwestern frontier of Rome for around 300 years. Hadrian was an empire after whom his wall was named. When he visited he visited Britain somewhere around 122 AD, and the so-called 200 after his death, after 200 years of his death, there was a biography written. He said things in order by building the wall and dividing the barbarians from the Romans. So the actual design of this wall was made to use the topography to its best. They tried to optimize the topography. They used the manpower where it was necessary. And for example, the wall's basic structure was there was a wall and there was a trench in front. But at some places where rivers were there or there was huge boulders, they rather tried not to do it. And then the whole design was to make it up of stone. But 30 miles in the east was made up of some other materials, and there were at every one mile there was a gate guarded by one guard called guard castle, and then we had one castle at every 3 to 4 miles.
Then the Roman Empire developed seven eastern regions. The western region remained under the control of Rome. Eastern regions went to Byzantium.
When the 410 AD, the sack of Rome has happened, and after a lot of time, that is 800 years, Rome, the city of Rome was captured by the enemy. It was led by the Visigoths under the king Alaric, and this was a quite huge uproar among the
The Byzantine Empire come to and Europe to fall the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans thus captured Constantinople in 1450.
So, first of all, before getting anything, you would like to know your experience. Like when we were doing the background, because all of you did research, studied about the certain time period. So how was all of your experience regarding that? Like, how you felt? Like, I'm asking your honest opinion and honest experience.
History was during the whole city now between two regions and a very slow process.
Rome was smart. I read the methodology, but after taking all about the wall and the fighting journal, I think the history was pretty interesting. We should read that sometime. Movies made it pretty fine.
From the history we know and from what I researched, there were many differences, and I felt at many times confused. But at last, it was very fascinating among the historical monuments and the walls.
Around the history of Rome, that we came to that there was like a movie that was there are very imaginative things, and but that was happening in real life, and so we can see that if we write a novel or anything else other than the history of Rome, then we can see that there was a great empire.
I am your brother more.
Sorry? I did not hear you. Why? You were not able to work on it? Why?
I work, but I only remember my.
Your
I cannot.
why is your in such a nice semester हमने जो सब पढ़ा था ना, हाँ, उसमें एक था कि a good leader would always be erudite. You know, he will have that scholarly qualities. Scholar, पढ़े लिखे और intellectual वाला quality आना होता है. उसको चाहिए. Then only you know a person will be called a leader. नहीं तो वो हमेशा लोगों के पीछे पीछे चलता रहेगा, follower बना रहेगा. लीडर भी कम नहीं कर सकता है. तो ये सारी opportunities है कि आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अपने को यूज करें. आप जब मैंने काम किया City with approximately 3.8 million inhabitants. It is situated on the bank of river Tiber. The culture and tradition in Rome reflect its historical past and celebrate the modern world. Roman culture is an eclectic mix of high culture, the arts, fashion, and historic architecture. The past and present excite within the steps of each other best defines Roman culture. Rome is although a very large city, but historical monuments are situated in a very small city. You can travel from one monument to other with the trains or cabs, but the train didn't travel in the street as they have 1 or 2 minute wait between their station. Food is an integral part of the culture in Rome, with dishes that are full of flavor and reflective of old Roman tradition. There are lots of small eating places in Rome where we can buy pizza, where we can have sandwich, slice of pizza, and sometimes also spaghetti. We should not take out and this all.
Colosseum is the largest and the most amphitheater in the world. It is constructed. Its construction is started by the Imperial restoration of the Julian dynasty in 1720 and also finished by its son in 88. Today it is a major attraction in the Roman world. And the next is the Roman Forum. Roman Forum is a small valley and it is lie between the Trevi and the Camping Hills. It was for centuries an Italian part of the ancient Rome, the site of such temples, processions, and reflections. Living for the public auspicious and the ingredients of commercial affairs, the Forum today is a sprawling plane of architectural fragments and includes the arts of the athletes, sailors, and tigers. It depicts the architectural excellence of the Romans. Next is the Pantheon. It is the best period of the Roman Pantheon. And the Roman Pantheon was issued in 126 century. And a temple for all the Roman gods. The temple was served as the Roman Catholic Church. And since the 17th century, the Pantheon consists of a large circular patio with the 3 legs of pillars, granite, head, and Corinthian columns. Almost 2000 years after it was built, the Corinthians around the extremely largest reinforced concrete dome in the world. Next.
I'm going to tell about the Circus Maximus. Circus Maximus was a chariot listed in Rome. It was built in 6th century before Christ, Darwin's era, and it was rebuilt by Caesar because Circus Maximus was burned down by. The circus was also used for other public events such as gladiator rides and Roman games, and it was last used for chariot races in 6th century.
First of all, I am thinking about the level of water. So this is water. Now, once 60% of art here limited in Rome. If you have a chance to one tour, then you can select here modern to ancient. Ancient times of it is I am talking about the Vertical Avenue. This is the previous building of the Rome because Rome is a full of ancients. I mean, there are many buildings, many tourist places that are present from ancient. explored before Christ, but even before Christ. So, Victoria Memorial is the new West. Its construction started in 1805 and it is 1911. This is the memorial is the national monument of the Rome. Rome is a small country. It is a capital of Italy. There is a various adventures that you can do in Rome. Victoria Memorial is full of white marbles. In front of memorial is a pedestal of horse that is 12 meters long. And from the upper galleries of the memorial, you can see many parts of the Rome. From the one side, you can see the bottom of this where Lucifer lived. In the bottom of this, there is a statue of Lucifer. So you can see the statue of Lucifer. Grave of Lucifer. From the upper gallery, you can also see the market entrance. Victoria Memorial is a great tribute to the first unified Italy, Victoria Memorial second. I think I would like to Roman foods are really have unique in Asian food. One is Vietnam, this one, other is Vietnam, which will be lunch, and Huina, which is also called China. Around the sun will from activity also breakfast. Let's discuss about Vietnam. The first it begins with glass of water. We start eating it made up of bread, cheese, cereal, and olives and honey. Bread, oil, regard Other words, Prandium. It is the Italian. It is a modern Italian word. It is a main meal of basically second breakfast in midday. The main meal of Roman is China. It's normally a start from 3 or 4 afternoon, and it can go on till the next morning, depending of food of social depending having like meal, cheese, bread, fresh fruit and dry fruit and salad in our language known as in Roman lad, known as lad. If they had this, they have no Huina anymore or China anymore, because it is same but its name was Romanium, having custom transport and have main courses, names of 10 the Pratium unified directed by the
Now I am going to read some brief information about the famous marketplaces in Rome, about their food culture, and some of the tips which you might be needing while you are traveling in Rome. Some of the things for which Roman markets are famous are leather bags, antiques, designs, handcrafts, handmade jewelries. Some of the famous marketplaces in Rome are Borghetto Flaminia Market, which is famous for its rare antique as well as its designer clothes. Another market is Fontanella Borghese Market, which is yet famous for its art and literature collections. Now moving towards the food section, as already said by Jyotish, that the food culture of the Romans is simple and hearty. You can find some of the famous Roman dishes as Roman pizza style, fritti, Muscovon Bianca. Frascati is one of the oldest wine over there and the famous wine in the Rome. Now I am going to give some of the traveling tips which might you be needing while you are traveling in Rome. For example, if you are planning to go to a church, it's better to there is a proper dress code is followed over there which you won't be allowed to enter in the church. And secondly, if you are going to visit a museum, it's better to book a ticket online beforehand to avoid the rush over there. Best means of transportation is Rome is using the metros and the buses. The open buses are good, you can get the city view also. And I'm also trying to say that if you are going to Rome, you must take a proper time, suppose a week off, because Rome is a very big place and if you are going for a day or two, you won't be able to visit or connect to the place as a Rome wasn't built in a day. And also I would like to say at last that Rome is a city of architectural excellence, and Roman history is one of the history that has been recorded in the best possible way. And without the history of Rome, there is saying in the Rome that without the story of Rome, there is no story of the West. Thank you.
Okay. That's it. Very good. One should listen.
Our topic is about the geographical map of the Rome. Ancient Rome, you can see as Roman Kingdom, Roman Republic, and Roman Empire. These are the three phases of Rome. First, starting from 753 to 509 before Christ. Second is from 509 to 27 before Christ. And third kingdom, the Julius Caesar existed in 27 before Christ to 476 AD. We have divided our groups, and one of the members will speak about some parts in each different phases. First of all, I just like to present about the geography of Rome. How it is very moderate, what its climate is. So Rome is just popularly known as the city of seven hills. See, one hill is here, Palatine. This is the most important hill of the Rome. And it has now become a tourist place in Rome. City of Rome were built on 7 hills that would be defended. One of the hills is Palatine Hill. The 7 hills I just want to read out their names. First is the Aventine Hill, second is the Scythian Hill, third is Capitoline Hill, Esquiline Hill, Palatine Hill, Paean Hill, and Livinian Hill. These are the hills, and the Romes are called as the city of it. Now the Rome's location is so favorable, it has lots of rivers. See here, this is the river Tiber. This is one of the most important rivers in the Rome.
And we also have this river in Julius Caesar. Okay.
And Rome is situated in the Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea is very, you can say, very near from the Rome, and it is very helpful in trade and other activities. So, as we know that India is a peninsula. It is a country which is surrounded three sides by the land. Rome is same. It is the Italian peninsula. And
This side land or this side
Italian sea.
water. Peninsula is
Three sides by water. There are two mountains in the Rome. It is shown here. First is the Alps and Apennines. These are the, you can say, the protector of the Rome. They protect the Rome. And okay, now we will start each phase's presentation.
After converting into the empire, the first map was the Roman kingdom. The site period between 753 to 509 before Christ. In this period, Rome was covered by the kings, and after the later found that Roman peninsula were dry and heavy. You can see in the blue lines, things in the map, and followed by the destruction. The last king of Rome was Tarquinius Superbus. After it, nearly no return records which are have in Wikipedia. The history of the Roman kingdom began with the army. Today I am talking about the important river of the Roman Empire. The Tiber is the largest river which flows across the Roman Empire. It flows from the Apennines Sea.
have to go to Gaul, and after Gaul to Britannia, you have to be to expand the Roman Empire. So why did he go there? Actually, at that time, when the Cornelia, which was what? The daughter of Sina, she died. So actually, he turned emotional. He had a dignity, he had a emotional character at that time. He had no political attitude and political views. So at that time, he was in natural character. So he made a promise to the Roman people that he wanted to make the Rome united, straight and powerful. He wants to see the peace in the Rome. But the senators was against him. They thought if he will fulfill his all the promises, so he will turn into the power. He will come in power, and we should oppose him. So after the death of Cornelia, he moves to the Gaul, which is called the War of Gaul. In the Latin, what we would call it, the Ibero Gallicus. This is a complete book, or it's a complete book. It has 8 pages, which is written only by Julius Caesar. He won the battle, the Ibero Gallicus, and he turned it, being Britannia and Gaul, he returned it to the Rome, and he wrote this book, Ibero Gallica. The war was fought in the 55 BC. After the result of this war was that when he battled there, he won. His victory included the valor and hostility of his enemy. Because he won, he was in the power, so senators thought our job will be lost because we chancellor rules. So when he was returning to the Rome, the Pompey, who married the Julius Caesar's daughter Julia, she died, so he returned back to the Rome. But the Pompey in hurry left the Rome. He turned to the Egypt. In the Egypt, what happened there? When he moved to the Egypt emperor, they murdered the Pompey. Because why? It's a politics behind that. They thought that if you kill the murder the Pompey, so Julius Caesar will come here and he will be pleased because he killed this. So the result was opposite. When he moved to the hurry, so he moved to the Egypt, and after coming to Rome, Caesar, after the Pompey, he will move to Egypt. He will fight to the Pompey and he will win the Egypt empire. So when he saw the dead body of Pompey, what happens? He just cries for a moment because Pompey was his friend who did marry sympathies to the Caesar. So when he was sitting in a room at that night, the Cleopatra was quite near at that time. She was a daughter of a king. So she comes in the room and says to the Caesar, I want your protection because I'm not in safe zone because if the Pompey is killed, so they may kill me even now. So Caesar said that he will fight the battle for you in his tent and he will make you the queen of the Egypt at that point. Actually, the Caesar did not marry Cleopatra. He just lived in life with her. And there was a child born by Cleopatra, which is the son of Julius Caesar. The name was Caesarion. Caesarion was murdered at the age of 17 by the senators of Rome, by Octavius. So, after winning the Egypt and setting the queen of Egypt, he comes back to the Rome to the control. And at that time, when Tithonus see that he just living in love with the Cleopatra, the Tithonus say that I'm breaking my marriage with you. I cannot live with you. So what happens there? After that, the senators, all the senators of that time, becomes against him because Caesar does not accept the crown This is the truth. Why he does not accept the crown? Because he did not fight for the king.
Lunch will be over, bhai. Lunch will be over.
And stand as he did promise before mentioned Cornelian days. He just filled his promises. He did never fight for to be the king, but he only fight for to make their own peace to the people. Only for people, not for the kingdom. To
Okay.
be the king, no. After winning the land of the western area, he moved to the east side, like the Northern Africa. After Northern Africa to the Alexandria in 47 BC. So he thinks that he won the many battles and he has expanded the Rome land toward the east and west. So what happens there? He thinks this is going to be politics. His natural character is lost. So in the end, in the conclusion, I would like to say that the Caesar fight for the power, unity, and the peace of Rome. And for the peace of Rome, that he did promise at the funeral of his wife, the Cornelia. He is full of intense emotions and his dignity. So it implies that, it says that, it indicates that it was his natural character. Before the fighting the battle. So he wins the battle. After winning the battle, he does not accept the crown. Because at that time it was his natural character. But what happens later? It leads to him thinking his enemy. After that, governing the Rome for the 10 years, because after that he was elected again. There was election in the Rome, so he was for the 1 year. After governing the 1 year, he was elected as the dictator of the Rome for the 10 years. So he becomes into a political mood. He moves in a political mood, political character. That moment that the political character leads to him the murder of Caesar. But I would never like call it. Actually, I would call it this murder of Caesar. I would call it the murder of Caesar's political character. Because he has removed him political character. So Senator, because the Senator was already the experienced holder of the political world. So he was leader in the political world. So they murdered the Caesar's political character. And not the natural character. Because in the natural character, he won the many battles, he won the land, so Rome. So he reached in the natural mood, in natural character, he never.
Thank you. We haven't time.
Roman government bank of Timor is located on the 7 inch, around the 7 inch, and the 7 inch are protected for tax and resource for building and land for farming. Without good, they can't. Okay, these are very important.
So please stand, all stand. So one by one, please, I would like to know this experience. So we'll start the side. No, I'm not just for what you all did. I'm just for what did you do? Yeah, let you summarize the entire presentation in more, just half a minute.
I think I also be there in 7 inch, around the 7 inch cabinet. In the 7 inch, as later.
So, but
Searching about the past history is useful.
It is best. Why? Giving a statement that thinking about past Don't we learn from history? Don't we try to have mistakes?
No. Up to now,
Up to now, no. Haven't we learned from the World War I and World War II? If we would not have learned, then we have World War III, 4, 5, 6 till now. See, the reason why I did this was because I want you, are you able to understand me properly? Who is talking behind me? Are you listening properly, understanding me properly? I asked you when you gave me the statement, okay? And then you started justifying it. Fine, no problem. This is how we should conduct ourselves, no problem. When we say something, we should be able to justify it. But then justifying it just for making ourselves appear valid is wrong, right? So justification is right, but it should not be imposed justification. Since we all know that people and authorities learn from history, just as it's a world history, it's a history about what has happened around us. Just as the way we learn from our own history, we learn from our mistakes. Okay? See, what I'm trying to say is, when a word is given, we should try to make it use of it. And whether it is history, Sanskrit, or any other language or area, subject area, or ethics, morality, all of these things they play an important role in some way. And we have to understand it and learn from it. But opportunity should never be missed. So the presentation that you did, then you had your hands in your pocket. After this, you had your hands in your pocket. So when in a professional setup, what had I said? Like earlier, what did I say? In a professional setup, we should not keep our hands in the pocket. Whether during presentation or after presentation, this is not right. So if I didn't say this earlier, I'm saying it now. When we are standing, this is not for sight, it's for everyone. When we are standing in front of the audience, no matter, even if we are not presenting, but we should be following the body language rules and everything. Okay? For everyone, as you are doing it right now. Don't fold your hands behind you. Yes.
Must boleh nikali.
Come up. And what's your name? Ashwini. Right. Ashwini, you know what mistakes you did, right? That is one that you have to correct. Whether you start is equally important as the end. So this should not be taken lightly. With both the start of the topic or the start of the presentation should be given equal weightage to the end of the presentation. Number one. Number two, loud. Your volume should be high. Number three, little bit work you have to do, like practice you have to do is speaking out properly, like clearly. Somewhere, if you know this, I believe, because that needs to be correct. By telling me what mistakes did you do, like can you say that? What were your mistakes? Little nervous, okay. Louder, yes, I think the volume was fine. Okay, volume was fine. I don't remember it.
There is a lack of confidence.
Some level. I think confidence, it was all okay for me. But somewhere I felt like, I think you laughed or smiled in the middle of the presentation. Did you do that? That's okay. But this is a little practice. So wait. If we compare your today's presentation with your earlier presentation that I have and we should show that maturity in front of our audience. Otherwise, people will start taking us very lightly. Voice. Okay, voice. You have to increase your volume. You have the voice. I'm not saying you don't have the voice, but you can increase the volume of your voice. And different practice is needed. More improvement is needed, especially in English language skills. But apart from that, I think it is also okay. But practice is needed. And Rajesh, yes. So Rajesh, you did a very good work. You understand it, so I don't have to tell about it, okay? But then you will make a very good teacher, no doubt about it. But actually, now we want to get language. Then you not. I have a very good ear, and I can say.
Aman.
Second last row.
Aman.
Aman was there, but then I think you also helped him. Okay, but even if you become a scientist, you will be assuming or taking role of similar kind of role that of a teacher, like a similar kind of role. Why? Because when you are doing an experiment or you are inventing something, you will be explaining it to the people. So for that, doing that, and for people to understand your experiment and to know you that you are a good scientist, little bit word again on the clarity. Okay, little bit word is needed, and then yes, the subject help me. This again, this thing should not happen. And it also happens when sometimes we get on the stage all of a sudden.
Cabinet, which consists of the president of the region and the regional council. Now let's consider the relationship. The people choose the parliament, and the parliament appoints the government, and the government appoints the council of ministers along with the prime minister and the president. Now parliament elects the constitutional court, which consists of 5 members from the parliament, and president also elects 5 members for theirs, and the judiciary, which only consists of the ordinary judiciary system, not of the administrative judiciary system, constitutes the 5. So constitutional court mainly consists only of the 15 members and the 3 old senators, which are the ex-president of the Italy. Now the higher council of the judiciary, it is elected by the president and the judiciary only, and that only from the administrative judiciary side and the president of the republic. And as it discussed here, the 2/3 is by the parliament and 1/3 by the ordinary magistrate system. Thank you.
I am telling about their fooding system of in Rome culture. There are 3 meals of a day. First of all, breakfast. This is called a inarticulum in Rome culture, and I call this breakfast. The Roman had a breakfast in a bread with honey, or maybe our language said to sauce and honey. And second, lunch, which is known as in Roman in parado. At a midday, at a light meal, fish, cold meat, and a bread, vegetable, and often a meal consists of the people take care. And last one is dinner, and this is called a cena in Roman culture. The main meal is cena. The poor might be only simple eating like a vegetable and or bread. Here is a rich and invalid routine of follow. Like this fooding system is like our workshop. In guest house, you eating by routine. This sort of follow in Roman culture. This next.
I can discuss about the economy of Rome. First of all, what type of economy is used in Rome? The type of economy used in Rome is mixed economy. In mixed economy, the needs of the people is decided by the government, and the wants are tackled by the company's business marketplace. There are some business needs also done. First of all, I would like to GDP structure of Rome. GDP contribution: service sector 75%, agriculture sector 4%, industrial sector remaining remaining person. Workforce employee. Workforce, most of the workforce are employed in the service sector. 65% in the service sector, 5% in the agriculture sector and industrial sector, in 30%. As we can see, global GDP 10 years moving average. It is deteriorating, and from 1996 to 2006, it has become almost stagnant. Economic instability in Rome. Rome suffers economic stagnation after World War. The Roman empire has deteriorated very much, and why it has deteriorated? Public investment. We can see public investment from 1985 to 2015. It has deteriorated very much. In 2010, it has increased a bit, but still it deteriorated in 2015. Falling interest payments have created fiscal problems. We can see the inflation rate also. Inflation rate is increasing day by day. From 1915 to 2010, it has increased to a large extent. As we can see, though Rome is a prosperous country, but still the economic condition in Rome is not well. I hope we all have sufficient. All done? Very good. So, Russian subject, practice. Okay, and presentation was fine, but more practice is needed so that you get more comfortable with the audience, and then you are able to be, then you become more clearer in your speech. Then Aditya, same thing, practice is needed, and a little bit more, I would say, maturity is needed in standing before the audience. Okay, when we want to explain something to our audience, we can relate any of our experience, but then that will be done with maturity. Okay, so this is the only thing, practice and a little bit more clarity. Adit, you all fine? After say something, I'll say this. And Aryan, it was very nice, very well done. Rita also, very well done, good work. And Dhaninal, very good, good work. So overall it was fine. Thank you so much.
She was the granddaughter of the dictator Sulla. Pompeia was participating in a Roman religious festival called Buddhist. The festival was for women only. However, a man managed to step into the party. In return, this man was in love with Pompeia, and he was in love with Pompeia. He was hoping to convince her to run away with him whether this true Caesar divorced Pompeia in 62 BC. 3 years after Caesar divorced from Pompeia, he decided to marry again at 41 years old. Caesar married to California in 59 BC. The two of them still married until Caesar was assigned in 44 BC. Next.
I am talking about Julius Caesar as politician. Julius Caesar as politician. Caesar returned to Rome in 73 BC as member of the College of Politics, and immediately began working on political career. He lived well beyond means and started on career of digital and both political gain and personal pleasures. Within a year, he was elected in Imperial England. Caesar was cultivating his political partnership with Pompeian versus Titus Claudius, a general and politician who had served valiantly during Sulla's reign. Caesar's next step was that quarter which was elected in 69 BC. Caesar clearly defined himself as popular, setting a stage for many political battles in camp. Caesar was not only building a considerable reputation, but he was winning the heart of the people through his emotions and powerful public display. And next.
Louder.
Good afternoon, friends. I am Salman, telling about biographical Julius a dictator. Procedure events Caesar went eventually to war against Pompey, leading his troops on January 10, 49 BC across the river Rubicon. But Pompey and his troops were known as Caesar and military compact. At the end of 48 BC, he pushed his enemy to Italy and pursued Pompey into Egypt, where he was finally killed. When he returned to Rome, he was made dictator for life, and he was made and had a father of his countrymen. His rules were instrumental for reforming them. He would have served just turned Caesar before his assassination, and in that short term, he greatly transformed the empire. He relieved debts and reformed the Senate by increasing size and opening it up so that better represented Romans as a whole. He organized a calendar and local government constructed. He disrupted the two cities, Carthage and Corinth, recently destroyed by predecessors, and granted citizenship to a number of foreigners. He proved to be a valiant victor by inviting some of his future rivals to join him in the government. He was careful to solidify his power and rule. And required assembly to honor his titles and future. He was allowed to speak first in the assembly meeting and Roman convoy.
He was standing with Rome lower middle class population, and he was planned to leave Rome on 18th March for military campaign. Brutus had already sided with Pompey during earlier civil war, but they had been encouraged to join the government after Caesar's victory. In Rome, dissatisfaction was growing in Senate because of Caesar rule. A secret plan was planned to remove Caesar and restore the government to the Senate. On March 44 BCE, Caesar was stabbed to death by his friend, and following the Caesar rule, power in Rome leading to the end of the Roman Republic. A mob of lower middle class population in Rome gathered at the Caesar Forum with the angry crowd attacking the home of Cassius Antony. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I present this Julius Caesar biography. Who is Julius Caesar? All have known Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was a Roman general politician, overthrew the Roman Republic established and the rule of Roman Emperor. His full name was Gaius Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar gained control all over the Rome, and he was the dictator of powerful dictator. His military success. Julius Caesar was known as the prolific writer and brilliant speaker. Some interesting fact of Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar's introduction of Julian calendar. Julius Caesar and Caesar could be traced to the first king of the Rome. Third is when Julius Caesar was young, he was kidnapped by practice on the way to study oratory. After Julius Caesar's death, I think of March 15th. With Egypt, he fell love with the Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra. Julius Caesar married Cordelia, then Pompeia, and finally California. The play of Julius Caesar has one characteristic in very much more marketed degree than on other Shakespeare's play, in which it is provided with natural irresistible denial. the feeling that he event the greatest important in the world's history beyond the manipulation of the actors then that it is this matters at the any rate. And most Julius Caesar's interesting thought of dangerous know that I am more dangerous than dangerous.
Moreover, considering the story part, then we come to know that Brutus, who was a famous, respected Roman senator, who helps to carry out plans and carry out Caesar's assassination, as he thought that it would let the Rome get rid of the tyrant. And at last we see that Brutus and Cassius meet the intimate defeat. And overall, we see that Brutus, who thought that the assassination led to the reign of the tyrant, put his countrymen in the civil war. And if we consider the theme of the story, then the theme of it comes to be like a tragedy. And then we think that it's such a whole tragedy as the hero of the play dies, and moreover the play ends.
Very well done. I could see that each one of you at least put some effort and you were able to give a presentation. It was very good to all of you. And then especially I would like to point out row number 21. So, and Shishipal as well. Both of you did a good job. I mean, I was not expecting that much from you all, but you proved me wrong and you did a good job. Even though you were reading from the page, but I could see that you had done some homework and you were good work, both of you. And you should continue it this way only. Then, what is your roll number? 2 name? Prakash. Prakash, very obvious, and you were shaking, you were nervous, you stopped sometimes, it is okay. But since you have to, I would say, practice more and more. The more practice you will do, the better you will get. Okay? So, overall it was fine. And so what is your name? So practice, and then I could see that you had memorized everything. Okay, that was very good. I could actually see that you were so much sincere that you thought that why should I take or read from the paper? I should do it orally, which is the correct way of doing it. But then it would have been better if you would have been a little slow. You were going very fast. You were speaking very fast. Okay, so that thing you have to practice. Practice, standard practice. I think it was fine. We practice needed. If you are as well, Aman, I would say practice. And Pushpa, but overall it was very nice. Better than, like as a group work, this was better. Earlier groups, there were some people who didn't score or were not able to present properly. But in this group, almost everyone were able to do it. Right?